Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be taking a debut deck profile of Plant Princesses. Now this is something that's like really interesting that I have a story behind. So this one day I was actually sitting out in my living room and actually working on Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And I was working on a bunch of decks on my dining room table, and my mom walked in and she saw the Titania Princess of Camilla's. And when she saw it, she said, "Oh my god, I love that card. It's beautiful. Like, I absolutely love that card." And she said, "Is there a deck based around her?" And I said, "Well, kinda. There was Gigavice Turbo." And she's like, "Giga what?" And I was like, "Mom, it was something that came out like a long time ago." And she's like, "Well, are there more of them?" And I was like, "Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 more Plant Princes." She's like, "I want you to build a deck around Plant Princes." And so I was like, "Huh?" And she said, "I will literally give you the money to build Plant Princesses if you will build them." So she gave me the money, and I actually built Plant Princesses. She was like, "If you will deck profile it on your channel so I can actually see all of them, I will do it and say that I asked you to do it." So here it is, guys. My mom actually requested this deck profile, so we're going to get straight on into it. And here, this one's for you, Mom. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell down there so you can become a part of the notification squad, and give it a like for Mom. So let's get into this and see what I'm playing. And I even threw in Black Rose Dragon as an ode to my sister because her middle name is Rose. So we got a 2-for-1 deal at Walmart. So let's get into this and see what I'm playing. So this was a little bit of a challenge for me because Plant Princesses are not the greatest deck in the world, but I kind of wanted to do it, so I did it. So first off, we're going to play 2 copies of Titania, or Titalia, or however you say her name, Princess of Camilla's. Her effect is that during either player's turn, when a card or effect that targets a card on the field is activated, you contribute a face-up plant monster to negate the activation or destroy it. She's really big at 2,800 attack, so she's pretty decent to play. So we play 2 copies of her. I play 1 copy of Princess of Sunflowers. If exactly 1 plant-type monster you control and no other cards is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can target a card your opponent controls and destroy that card, which is kind of cool. You can only use her effect once per turn, so that's okay. Or you can use it multiple times per turn, but it has to activate and resolve. So then we play Titalia, the Princess of Cherry Blossom. She's probably the best one out of them because she's like the big beat stick of them all. She's at 2,800 attack, and this card gains 100 attack for each plant-type monster you control. Other plant-type monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects, so she protects all your other plant monsters, and she like lets you gain attack points, so she gets really big really quick. I think the maximum that she can get up to is 600 plus, so she goes up to 34 tops if you have a Link monster and her on the field. Then I played 2 copies of the Princess of Autumn Leaves. So the reason we play 3 copies of Autumn Leaves is your opponent cannot target face-up plant monsters you control with attacks, which is kind of important because you don't want your opponent to hit your little plants when she can protect you with the 2,800 booty. So, and if this card in your possession is sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card effect, either by battle or by card effect, you can special summon a plant-type monster from your deck, except another copy of herself. So she lets you special summon any plant monster, which is very important in this deck to go off with. So then we play 3 copies of Lone Fire Blossom because it is a plant deck, so we do need the 3 Lone Fire Blossoms. Once per turn, you contribute it to special summon 1 plant-type monster from your deck. So that's pretty good. It lets you special summon out, multiple Lone Fires and get other cards out, unless you just pop off. 3 copies of Debris Dragon. This card recently went to 3, I think, on the last list. So we basically just play this to go into Black Rose Dragon because I wanted to summon Black Rose Dragon in this deck because people don't know of Black Rose's other effect, which I'll get into in a little bit. All they know is that it board wipes, but it does more things than that in plant decks. So it's really good to summon it. Basically, this is 1 card Black Rose. When it's normal or special summon, when this card is normal summon, you get to target a monster in your grave that's 500 or less attack, which Lone Fire is 1, and we have a bunch of other targets on the deck for that. And special summon that target in attack position, but its effects are negated. Not a big deal. And it cannot be used for synchro materials except for the synchro summon of a dragon monster. Not a problem. That's what we're doing. And the synchro material cannot be a level 4. We're going for 7, so we need 3s. So that's not a problem either. But usually our target's Lone Fire, and we just synchro summon into our Black Rose. So then I play 3 copies of Spell Striker to overlay with because we have Melody of the Trees that we want to go to. This card very, very often, like it's Melody of the Trees Turbo, or Melody of the Trees. You get to target, it takes 2 Earth monsters go into it, so that's why we play Spell Striker. Because it's a really good card and it lets you special summon off a lot. and it's good for link materials. 3 copies of Card Trooper because we want to dump our plant princesses to grave so we can revive them later on in the turn with cards like something I'll show you in a little bit. So then we play 3 copies of Crane, or 2 copies of Crane. Basically, when you normal summon it, you can special summon a level 3 monster from your graveyard. So that's usually going to be Lone Fire again or Card Trooper to dump more cards into the grave. So that's a thing. 1 copy of Spore because it's a, sorry for bumping the camera, but Spore is pretty much like a really easy card to link summon with. If it's in your graveyard, you can remove and play 1 other plant monster from your grave, and then you get to special summon it. And then it's also really good for synchro materials and stuff like that, if you can get it to level 3 off of its effect. So it's really good that way. You can't get it to level 3 in this deck, but you can get it to level 2, but we don't really use it for that. We use it for like link summoning. So the other card that we play 3 copies of is 3 copies of Rose Lover. This card is actually, I am totally convinced that this card is based off of Maximilian Pegasus's original wife. I think that this is the painting that he was drawing and they just kind of turned it into concept art because she kind of looked like that. In one of these scenes, she actually gets engulfed by a rose in the actual like anime, and she technically, they don't say it, but she dies in the actual like anime. So it's kind of cool that they actually tied her into a card. I think that it's tied into, I don't know if there's any official lore behind it, but I have always associated Rose Level with her. So you can banish this card from your grave, then special summon one plant monster from your hand, and if you do, it is unaffected by your opponent's trap effects. So you want to dump Rose Lover to the grave to special summon out your plant princesses from your hand. So she's really important to get into grave as quickly as possible so we can start summoning our plant princesses. Now we also play in this deck something else that I will show you in a minute, and it makes the whole deck go round. And I really want you guys to think about it because it's going to be one of those guess cards I normally do where I put it face down and you guys have to guess and see what it is. So that is for the monsters. Let's get into the spells. So we actually even play a couple of traps in this deck. I know, surprising, right? So for the spells, we play 1 copy of Monster Reborn. Let me move these out of the way. So we play 1 copy of Monster Reborn because we need revival in this deck. 1 copy of Foolish Burial because again we need to send our Rose Lover to grave. That's usually our target. 1 copy of Soul Charge because if you're not playing Soul Charge with Lone Fire, there's a problem. They're like bread and butter; they go together. 3 copies of Trade In. Trade In's really good in the deck because if you have Trade In, all your plant princesses are level 8, so you need Trade In to discard them to a grave. So for the next card, it is the Guess card. It is a spell card that I am playing as a 3 of in the deck that you guys are going to have to comment down below and tell me what you think it is. So in 3 seconds, I'll flip it over. I will give you a hint. It helps us special summon out plants from the deck to get us all 4 plant princesses on the field at one time. You can get all 4 plant princesses on the field at one time and unite the holy, like, Trinity, and it's not really Trinity because Trinity's 3, the matrimony of the seasons with the plant princesses, because they're all counted as like winter, summer, spring, fall, which is pretty cool if you actually like look at them close enough, because I worked on this deck a long time. So guess down below, tell me what you think it is, and I'll reveal it in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Don't forget to hit that bell so you can become a part of the notification squad though, guys. So here we go. It is 3 copies of Inferno Reckless Summon. This deck is like totally based around Inferno Reckless Summon. When exactly 1 monster with 1500 or less attack is special summoned to your field while your opponent controls a face-up monster, special summon as many possible copies of that card to your side of the field from your hand, deck, and grave in attack position. Also, your opponent special summons the same or picks a monster on their field and they get special summon monsters of the same card. So like if they have like for instance a Blue Eyes and you summon Lone Fire, you can summon 3 Lone Fires and they can summon 3 Blue Eyes with Inferno Reckless Summon. But the reason I play this is because I want to use this with Lone Fire in conjunction with Lone Fire to summon out as many plant princesses as possible as quickly as possible to use them as either XYZ material or just to attack with them. Because like with 3 Lone Fires, I contribute all 3 of them at once and then summon out my plant princesses. So it's really easy to get them out. Then I play 3 copies of Miracle Fertilizer because it revives my copies of Lone Fire to get off with Inferno Reckless Summon, or revives plant princesses from grave as well. But that's it for the spells, guys. Let's really quickly get into the traps, and I'll show you what I'm playing there. And I just love the artwork of Miracle Fertilizer. Like, it's just really cute. Those are really cute. I don't know why. I've always loved that card. So then we're playing 3 copies of Call of the Haunted. If you want to drop these and play like back to the front, you can. I just threw in 3 Call of the Haunted in here. You just need something to revive back something. So if you want to play back to the front instead of Call of the Haunted so it doesn't get negated or anything, throw in back to the front over Call of the Haunted. But Call of the Haunted is just really cool. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So we're going to be playing 2 copies. I know, 2. Usually people only play 1. What's going on? We're playing 2 copies of Black Rose Dragon. Black Rose Dragon is like kind of like the centerpiece of the deck that you want to summon out of the extra deck as quickly as possible, along with Melody of the Trees. When it's synchro summon, you can destroy all cards on the field, period. And then its other effect is once per turn, you can remove from play a plant monster from your grave to change one monster your opponent controls attack to 0 until the end phase of the turn. So basically it makes your opponent take 2,400 damage by just banishing a plant and then attacking with it. I know, it's ultimate rare. It's so pretty. There's a long story behind that card. Like behind how I got that ultimate rare. That I'll tell you guys in another video. So then we got a number 87, Queen of the Night, because she technically is a plant princess. So we need to play 1 copy of her, Queen of the Night. For those of you guys who don't know, she takes 3 level 8 monsters, which is really easy to get on the field. And then once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach a material, then activate one of these effects. Target a set spell or trap on your opponent's control. While this card is face on the field, it cannot be activated. Target a plant monster on the field, change that monster to face down defense, or target a face up monster your opponent or you control, and it gains 300 attack. Not the best card in the world, but since we're going for plant princesses, we're going to throw in Queen of the Night. If you guys don't want to play Queen of the Night, drop her out of the deck, play something else. That's entirely okay. Play Heliopolis, or even play Felgrand. You can even play a Felgrand in the deck instead of her. That's okay, but I'm going for total plant princesses, every single one in the deck. So One Hope Harboring, Dragon Titanic Galaxy. Dragon Titanic Galaxy negates spell and traps, so that's why, or spells, so that's why we play him. Lancelot, because it pops back row, or it negates spell and traps, and negates monster effects, and it pops back row and it can attack your opponent directly, or pops out monsters, and then it can attack your opponent directly, which is really good. I go for him a lot in this deck. The Phantom Knights of Breaksword, because we play level 3s a lot. Levier, just in case we banish something, we can, get it back. Then 3 copies of Melody of the Trees, which is extremely important in this deck. Actually, if you want to change out Levier and play like Dante, you could play Dante over Levier if you want to, but I choose Levier because you banish stuff off of Spore, so that's why I play it. And you banish stuff off of Black Rose. So, Melody of the Trees, her effect is like, the reason you play 3 of this is because once per turn, you can detach a material from her, then activate one of these effects. Either send a plant monster from your deck to the grave, or target a plant monster in your grave and special summon that target in face-up defense. So that's really cool. Then we play a Sor Yugioh for draw power, Boar Load for destruction effects, Summon Sorceress to special summon, and then Nightmare Phoenix and Cerberus for pop. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed taking this. I really enjoyed building this deck. It was a lot of fun. I just want to give a shout out to my mom, because like I built this for her to play, but I also built this for you guys because I just think it's a really interesting deck that nobody really plays. It's not the greatest deck in the world, but it's really pretty with all the artwork, and that's what we're here about, is just to enjoy this card game that is Yu-Gi-Oh! So anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell down there so you can become a part of the notification squad, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.